Next, we're going to do the sodium carbonate and the magnesium sulfate, okay? Now, it's pretty much a clear liquid. They're both clear liquids, right? They're a little bit cloudy,
Can I dump it?
but they're clear. You want to pour that in here?
I want to do it.
Look what happened.
It turned gray.
Yeah, it turned cloudy, right? Why do you think that is? All right, let's shake it up. Put your thumb over it like this and shake it, and then give it to Marie to shake with her thumb over it. Okay, great. Let Marie shake.
Put your thumb over it. Good.
All right, good. That's enough. Come on, give it to me. All right, now. Let's see.
Is this how we make slurp juice?
I'll tell you what. How about you take the rest of the sodium carbonate and mix it with the magnesium sulfate? Okay?
I'm doing it.
You do some, and then Derek will do some, and then you do some.
Okay, you do some first.
Good job, bud.
But not all.
Pour half of it in there, Marie.
Some of it.
All right, now Derek will do some.
I'll do the
And pay
rest.
attention to what happens.
I'll do the rest.
And then pour it all in there. Now stir it around and put your hand on it. Put your hand on the glass to see if it changes temperature. Is it getting warm?
It's
Getting,
medium.
is it getting cold?
No,
You sure?
I'm sure. It's not cold at all.
Mommy, has the temperature dropped a little bit maybe?
Oh yeah.
Well, it dropped, but not cold.
No,
it's
but
not
the
cold.
temperature's colder than it was, right? Do you know what that's called when you combine two things and the part of the reaction is a temperature change? The temperature drops. Do you know what that's called? No. Do you know what that's called?
No.
That's called an endothermic reaction. That means it pulls heat. We
Let me
can.
be a potion brew when I grow up.
Now, what do you see happening over here?
It's misting.
Is there a
Before it was
is
kind
there a
of
precipitate?
yes.
Okay.
Before it was kind of blue, and then now it's just mist.
Well, it was a very clear, relatively clear liquids. You combine them and they become cloudy. Do you see little particles forming down at the bottom?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
salts.
Right, it is salts. Do you know what it is?
No,
We mixed sodium carbonate with...
Daddy. Since the light's reflecting through this, I made a little spotlight down here.
Okay.
Can I see? I see. Let's explore the deep. It's salt.
So you mixed sodium carbonate with magnesium sulfate, and what's happening is the magnesium broke apart from, while it's in water, it breaks apart from the sulfate ion, and the magnesium is grabbing onto the carbonate ion. Derek, do you understand?
Yeah.
So that white powder that's forming at the bottom is magnesium carbonate. But there's also some sodium sulfate in there. Okay?
See if I
So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and separate them. Okay?
It's hard.
Keep mixing it. We're going to try and separate them using a coffee filter, okay?
A coffee filter.
Yeah, but I need another beaker here.
It's got one.
To end the show. Now,
Wait.
let's see if we can grab this precipitate, okay?
Hold on. At the end of the show, let's make a big bottle of the stuff. Big bottle of both of them. Going. It's working. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, wow.
We have to be careful not to overflow it.
Well, my feet there. Wait a moment. Let some of it go down.
And then what we're going to do is, after we pour this all out, we're going to
Sort it? No.
put it on a plate in the oven. We're going to put it on a plate in the oven. We're going to dry it.
A drain. Yeah. What do you think?
What is this called when a powder forms in a liquid, Derek?
Precipitate?
Precipitate. Very good. doing real good here. We're going to get a pretty good yield, but some of this, mostly in the liquid, is sodium sulfate.
Oh.
The white stuff that we're trapping here is magnesium carbonate. So we're going to have to then add water and rinse this real quick. I'm going to get some more water.
Hey, Dad.
Please don't touch that, okay?
Why doesn't it go like?
What?
I can
Why is it the water only
I can
going?
help you to rinse.
Yeah, can you fill this up with water?
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, just
I have a question.
yeah, what?
Why is the water only going through this side but not this side? Because it shouldn't be like.
No, it drips from the lowest point.
Oh.
We're doing real good here.
Wait a sec. I want to see it. I want to see all the salt and.
You will let it drain, and then what's going to happen is that we don't have much space to rinse it.
A few hours later.
Now what's going to happen is we're going to rinse this with water, and what's going to happen is the sodium sulfate is going to dissolve in the water, but the magnesium carbonate doesn't dissolve as much in the water, and we're going to end up with...
Wow! Look at all this. Can I? May I do that?
We have to be very careful because we don't have much space left. Do you understand? All right, it has stopped dripping. So, ooh, see all that? I'm going to be very careful with it because I don't want to overflow the bottom container.
Why?
Because then the filter stops working.
We reacted sodium bicarbonate with magnesium.
It was actually sodium carbonate with magnesium sulfate.
Sodium carbonate.
And what's here in this bowl in the oven?
Magnesium.
Well, this is the precipitate, right? We filtered it out using a coffee. And what do you think that is? It went through the filter. It wasn't a precipitate. It was dissolved in the water. So I think that is sodium sulfate. Magnesium carbonate here. And what's magnesium carbonate used for is athletes use magnesium carbonate when you watch the Olympics and you watch gymnasts and track people.